Yeah.
Joe, Duke versus Virginia in the ACC Championship game. If Duke wins, they're not getting in the playoff. But if Virginia wins, they're currently at number 17, and they could get in the playoff. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I know that this has been a circumstance that has been brought up that if Duke wins, it's going to be incredibly chaotic. It creates an insane situation if it comes to fruition. It's not going to. Duke is an incredibly mediocre team. They lost games that they weren't supposed to when they lost to UConn, and they got smoked by Illinois, and they lost to Tulane. They have been teetering above mediocrity. They've got one of the best players in the country, one of the most underrated players in the country in Darian Mensah, who doesn't get a lot of recognition. UVA is a 3.5-point favorite on FanDuel, Blake, and I think that UVA is going to walk their ass. I really don't think that this Duke team is going to put up much of a fight. They're 130th in EPA per pass allowed, 63rd in EPA per rush allowed. Their defense has been porous, and they have been smoked up and down. Like, I think that this UVA team isn't necessarily some sort of juggernaut, but they're prepared and they're equipped to win the ACC Championship game.
As much as we argued for the last 30 minutes, I completely agree. Joe, this Duke defense is 109th in the country in total defense. I do believe that Manny Diaz is a really good defensive mind. His team defensively is really bad. They're really, really, really bad on defense. Somehow, some way, they found a way to get themselves in the ACC Championship game. Go win it. Go win it. Go get a rival inside the conference, win it, and keep them out of the playoff. Dude, the physicality that Virginia plays with in reference to Duke, I think is going to be overwhelming. I think that Tony Elliott has done one of the best jobs in the country, and I love what I see from Chandler Morris. Joe, the other thing that really would bother me in this game if I'm going into this one with Duke, they're giving up 30 points per game. They are getting scored on, thrown on, run on all the time. All the time. Chandler Morris has been one of the most exciting players in the country to watch. I don't care that they're 9-3. None of that bothers me. He's fun to watch. Tony Elliott has done an exceptional job. Joe, not only do I think that they're going to beat him, I think they're going to rout him because this offensive line for Duke has not been great at all. They've not learned how to pick up stunts. Did you watch the last 3 games with Duke? Because I watched their last 3 games. Joe, they can't even pick up a stunt. I'm talking about a basic, just over stunt. I think that they are going to be able to get an immense amount of pressure, and they are going to lean on them. I'm going to take Virginia to win, and I am going to take them to cover. I just think that they are going to rout them, and they're going to find themselves in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the Duke offensive line issues because I think that's been an underlying problem for them. They've allowed 25 sacks on the season, and you've had UVA awfully solid on their end with their O-line, only allowing 16. Virginia quietly has a pretty good pass rush. 30 sacks on the year. I think that they're going to get after Darian Mensah. And while Mensah's actually been pretty good at protecting the football, only 4 interceptions on the season, I feel like we saw the Illinois game was a little bit of an example of this. When they can't block for him, it really disrupts their offense. And I think that it limits their capability of what they can do offensively. Like, this Duke squad just has problem after problem. And it's a complete joke that they even made it here. I know that I'm kind of like grandstanding on a complete different issue. It's a complete and utter joke that they made it this far. I hate this game so much, and it's for a completely different reason. I really thought Duke was capable of doing this in the preseason. I really thought that this Duke team had a squad that was capable of being what Virginia is, being 10-2 and playing really solid defense, running the ball well, and getting to the ACC Championship game as a sleeper. They've got some really good players on defense. Chandler Rivers, really good DB. He's got 8 pass breakups on the year. I liked his preseason tape. Wesley Williams is a really underrated defensive lineman for them. 7.5 tackles for loss, only has 2 sacks on the year. But Blake, they got bodies. They got good football players on defense. And for some weird reason, they took such a gigantic step backward. I think that we got to open our eyes here. I'm actually shocked that FanDuel made this line so close. I don't understand how they put it out a line this close.
They make me nervous when they make lines that close. What do they know that we don't? Look, Joe, I look at Virginia. I love how physical they've been at the point of attack. Now, I say that they've been physical at the point of attack. I'm not talking about all these other teams, right? I go even all the way back to that Florida State game when they're just leaning, and Tony Elliott is calling a brilliant game. The amount of yards that Duke is giving up through the air worries me because I think Tony Elliott is going to be able to expose it. That is a massive reason why they're 109th in the country in total defense. The only thing that I wonder if this game could be close and Duke could find a way, can their offense just continue to score over and over again? Joe, I think they got to be unconventional. I think they need to go for it on fourth down multiple times. I think they need to go for it at midfield. Like if they're at midfield, they need to go for it. They need to risk it. I wrote down on my notes, risk it for the biscuit. You kind of do, though. You kind of do because they're going to score a lot of points on you. You're giving up 30 points a game. You got to play keep away because Tony Elliott is going to 1,000% expose this secondary. And Joe, I've literally all day been trying to figure out how Virginia loses this game more than Duke beats them. Turnovers can happen. Things can happen. And Chandler Morris has been very turnover prone in his career. If he does it against Duke, yes, this game can be close. I just don't know if they're going to do that. And I don't count in turnovers when they can be sporadic. I don't like this secondary, and for that reason alone, that's why I massively lean Virginia and them making the playoff.
I want to hype up Jamari Taylor, by the way. He's been one of the most fun stories in college football. They talked about how, his path to getting to Virginia. I believe he was a walk-on at NC Central, and he's gotten this chance to be one of the most productive weapons in this Virginia offense this season. 997 rush yards, 14 rushing touchdowns, 219 through the air. I believe he's also thrown a touchdown pass. If I'm correct here. Yeah, he's got a touchdown pass on the season, which is hilarious. And I absolutely love that. This Taylor is a really fun player. And I think that we give a lot of attention to Morris because he's the name, he's the quarterback that's been playing for 20 years and he's had 4 different stops, but Taylor has an opportunity to really take over this game. I'm not comparing him to Cam Scatterbo, but maybe he could have his own little Cam Scatterbo moment here in this game and then go into the playoff and have a Cam Scatterbo moment there because he's their do-it-all, energy-filling playmaker that can be utilized in so many different ways. I think he's a very intriguing player because of what he's done for Virginia and for the fact that because nobody really talks about Virginia, I don't think enough people know about him and his path and what he does and what he brings to the table.
Like I said earlier, give me Virginia to win, give me the cover, and Tony Elliott's about to make the playoffs, man. How wild is that?
Crazy.